Hi, my name is Diana Highbloom. I am a single parent. I substitute teach every day. 2 days a week I work at Barnes & Noble as a bookseller in the teens and children's department, and I do part-time work for a commercial realtor a couple towns over. Teaching job, I have been doing it for several years, so I'm at the top of my pay scale, which is $120 a day. I have no benefits though, and I'm hired on a per diem basis, but I work every single day of the school year. I am requested a lot because I'm an emergency substitute, which means I could teach any subject at any grade level on any given day. At Barnes & Noble, I just got a raise. Woo! I got a quarter raise. I make $8.50 an hour now. I work Mondays and Tuesday nights from 5 till 10:30 or 11. On my feet the whole time. It's really an easy job in some ways, but really challenging physically to be standing for that long. And I work for a commercial realtor on an as-needed basis. I do projects for him. I worked for him many years ago when I was younger, and when he pays me $25 an hour, but he 1099s me at the end of the year. So I have to pay taxes on that. Pretty much I get up at 5:45 every morning. I have 2 dogs that I have to walk that are old. I have to be at work usually by 7 o'clock in the morning. I have to check in. I'm done between 2:20 and 2:40 depending on what school I'm working at. I usually run home, walk my dogs. I have to be at Barnes & Noble by 5 o'clock on Mondays and Tuesdays. Usually Wednesdays I go into the realtor's office. I'm usually there between 3:30 and 4, and I work sometimes for a couple hours and sometimes later. It depends. And a lot of times I'll bring work home with me, so I usually only go in there 1 or 2 days a week. But they're long days. I mean, it's exhausting. I don't get a lot of free time. When I do have downtime, I do things like catch up with my laundry, clean my house, give my dogs a bath, do paperwork. But I've learned that since I do have a limited amount of time, that I need to also enjoy myself. So I try to spend time with my children if I can see them. I try to make plans with my friends, go to the movies or go someplace casual to dine. But I don't go out a lot. I have 2 children. My son is a sophomore in college. My daughter just graduated from college. She's finally supporting herself. She has a job where she's paying her own way in the world. My son has a small part-time job, but as a parent I feel responsible to be able to help them out with their incidentals, whether they want to have a snack at night, or they need toiletries, or they want to go to a concert and they want some tickets. So my part-time job at Barnes & Noble, I pretty much don't factor into my budget monthly. I pretty much make about $100 a week. So I kind of put that aside, so when one of my kids asks me for money or they need something, I don't feel bad. But it's kind of hard though, because sometimes I have extra things, like my car breaks down or something happens, and I usually tell my kids money's really tight this month, and it makes me feel bad because I think that they feel guilty asking me when I don't want them to ever feel that way. I was a stay-at-home mom many years, and I was really blessed, and I don't regret any day that I stayed home with my kids and did that. But it's hard getting back into the work world. Initially I started substitute teaching just to put a little icing on our cake as a couple, and then I went through a divorce, and I all of a sudden needed to make the cake. And teaching jobs are really hard to come by with the school budgets the way they are anymore. I would be higher up on the pay scale, so they would never hire me as a full-time teacher. I've dealt with stuff where I've looked for full-time jobs, and there's definitely some age discrimination that goes on, and it's really challenging. I wish I had one job that paid me what I feel I deserve, that maybe gives me some benefits, but they're very hard to come by. There's a couple different ways I look at that. I feel like I don't want my kids to have to work. I mean, there's plenty of time in life when you're older and you graduate from college where you're going to have to work to earn a living. So I really kind of want them to focus on school and you know, whatever. I feel like that's their job right now. So I don't want them to have to feel like they have to earn money to take care of themselves. You know, I know with low-income families, you know, that sometimes kids resort to crime because they don't have things in their households that they need. Their parents don't provide them with enough food, and they don't have like basic things that they want to get. So they often resort to, you know, criminal activity. I teach at a detention center in the summer. I teach chemistry, and a lot of inner city, you know, kids are in there for that reason, because they resort to a life of crime because their parents are in this low socioeconomic level. Their parents are working, if they're working at all. They're working at minimum wage jobs, and it's a struggle to live on that and support a family. No, my ex-husband helps them out. You know, thankfully their grandparents help out with their college education. They have some scholarship and grant money as well. My ex-husband helps them with stuff, but he is not as open to helping them as I am. Like, I feel it's my responsibility, and he almost feels like they should earn it a little bit. We have a different philosophy of parenting. It definitely affects my son a lot more. I think my son has a much better relationship with his dad or has a much worse relationship with his dad than my daughter does. So I think it's harder on him. He has, you know, issues relationship-wise with his dad to start with, and when he needs money, it's kind of harder for him to go and ask. Where my daughter, I don't think felt that same kind of thing. I think that she would ask him for whatever she needed. You know, she's dad's little girl, so it helps out a little bit there. There's really a high divorce rate anymore. A lot of families are single-parent families. I know a lot of dads that are single-parent families that are raising their kids. So, you know, it goes both ways. I just find that men typically make a higher income than women. I know that my daughter right now is working in a job. She was hired the same time as a boy who just graduated from college too, and he's making $10 an hour more than she is. You know, so there is some discrimination as far as, you know, salary goes still. But I just think it's challenging whenever you're trying to provide for your children, and I think that it's hard when you have to doing multiple jobs. You know, it doesn't feel really good because, you know, I know that I'm a valuable employee. I come with a gigantic skill set. I'm really knowledgeable about a lot of different things. So it doesn't feel really good that no one wants to employ me full time because they don't want to pay for my health insurance and they don't want to give me benefits. It doesn't feel really good. So it's troubling. I mean, I think that anymore a lot of people are going to have to become entrepreneurs and start their own businesses and pay their own way, or they're going to have multiple jobs like I do to make ends meet, because it's kind of the way the employers are behaving anymore. You know, being a single parent to me just means that you really need to try to make your kids feel really secure. You know, I try to tell my kids that no matter what, they can come to me for anything, you know, whether it's money or something else that they need. I never want them to feel that I can't help them. That's why I work multiple jobs. So I can live a lifestyle where I feel comfortable and I can give them the things that they need. I think that single parenting comes with its challenges, but I think that there's a lot of people doing it besides me. I meet people in the same boat that I'm in all the time. I mean, at Barnes & Noble, there's a lot of people that are single parents that work there, but there are a lot of also people that are couples that, you know, where they have kids in college or they have someone who's getting married. And, you know, these are all really highly educated people. A lot of people have their master's degrees and they're working a part-time job just because they need extra income.